supplies and they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game, the algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. That comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursements? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the runaround. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. The reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASINs down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it poppin', you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell a day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope, Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Flex, grow, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell today. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain. I'm sitting at a birthday, laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then tried to sell, now she's stuck in a thriller. Finding products, yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Sample suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stack, customers pissed. Man, I'm under attack. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark wars, brand registries a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm in a jam. Listings yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations, bulk sheets for control. Excel's my new weapon, but it's taking its toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. Alt text, A+ content, playing insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low. All products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat.
Let's go to Mac School. To Mac School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope.
They got the SOP, cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe. Helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalogs, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you'd think we studied at Mac School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden loop. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using Helium-10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the back end to the bullets, optimization hits the skies. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. Alt text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the SOP so sellers learn and teach.
Meanwhile, my Amazon guys on the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth, let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe. When support says call Mag, they'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway. Bezos, hit me up if you want to sell seller support. I'm buying. Laser Chase. Peace.
Hello, and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday live Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm sales director here at My Amazon Guy, and I am here to answer any and all of your questions today. So, without further ado, let's get started. We're a little early today. We're doing it at 11 a.m. versus 12 p.m. I got a couple of things I got to head over to here in the next hour or so. So, I thought I would hop on a little early and still get you guys some questions answered. So, I'm having a weird hair day. It's like flopped down over here, but whatever, I suppose. All right, let's start us off. Ricardo, hello. Here we are. Last time you said that you adjust the bids if you are getting the impressions, clicks, and conversions you want, but what criteria do you use to set them? Usually when I'm looking at any type of bid adjustment whatsoever on Amazon, I like to typically take the approach of doing no more than roughly about a 15% change. So 15% one way or the other is quite lofty, to be honest, in most scenarios. But typically speaking, it depends realistically on what the actual bid is. For something like a $5 bid, I'm usually only going to adjust by a margin of that. So let's say 20 cents, 25 cents at a time, or a fourth of a dollar. This is a pretty good area. The one thing I do suggest when you are looking at changing your bids in any capacity and doing some testing around what bid works and around your cost per click, the big thing I will always push is I would not, and I cannot stress this enough, I would not only do like 1 cent, 2 cents at a time. Even if you're under a dollar, 1 to 2 cents at a time is not going to give you much of an impact really at all. So I would always, when you're doing bid adjustments, try and use a larger amount. You know, if you're under a dollar, 5, 10, 15 cents at a time. If you're over a dollar, you can even go even higher to that 25 cents, 50 cents. Realistically, depends on what you are actually seeing from the improvements with it. So don't be afraid to change the bid, even if it's just for a day. Testing is always going to give us, more data than we actually would have otherwise. Ricardo, again, when you say that a good CTR is around 0.8% to 1%, do you mean for a specific keyword or the average you can see on the dashboard in the ad impressions or ad sales section? Yeah, so this is advertising specific. I'm going to throw that out there because you would technically want a higher click-through rate when you're looking at organic compared to ads click-through rate. That being said, yeah, 1% for a click-through rate on ads is decent. I theoretically would want it to be higher, closer to a 2% if possible. But that being said, it's not bad at the end of the day. So what I mean by that is looking directly at when you ask the dashboard ad impressions, ad sales, it's just going to be your primary dashboard. So if you're looking at any specific campaign, and I do go by campaign level, you can look at specific keyword as well, and that will help you when you're looking at things like negations. Are you getting the clicks versus impressions that you realistically should? One of two. The recent tariff scare prompted me to raise my prices and reduce my daily budget. After the announcement of a 30% tariff, I reverted those changes. However, I haven't received any orders for the past week. I'm unsure if this is due to the algorithm issue or if Amazon is penalizing me. Do you have any suggestions? So when you're talking about reducing your budget, that's probably the primary issue. And if you're, doing a direct, just like dropping your price, raising your price, yes, that can have a impact on the algorithm overall. But what more likely is happening here is the reduction in your daily budget. So all advertising and campaigns have history. It's very common, and this is one of the reasons that I tell people not when you're, going on a stock, let's say, don't just fully change up how your campaign is operating, because that will change how it is actually showing placement and how it is affected by the algorithm. So the budget change is what I probably wouldn't have done there necessarily. You could have looked at potentially pausing. You could have looked at potentially lowering your bids. There's a lot of things you could have done here, but what should you do now is probably the bigger thing. Well, one, check to make sure that essentially your bid structure is still sound and make sure that your placement structure is sound when you're looking at your advertising. Secondarily, I would also check for a hidden suppression. When doing price changes of any kind frequently on Amazon, you can end up having a hidden suppression on your product without knowing it. Easiest way to check for a hidden suppression is to take the ASIN, throw it into the search bar and just search it. And if your product doesn't show up, when you do that, then you know that your product has a hidden suppression. You need to work with seller support on this. you could go through the process of just doing a bulk or a flat file delete relist. That usually will get you through that process pretty easily. Part 1, because if we're talking about the average, mine is very low since I have a 0.1%. Ooh, 0.1% click-through rate is bad. If I shared the ASIN with you, even though I'm in the Italian market and language might be a challenge, I can always use Google Translate, I suppose. Could you visually tell me what you would improve? Yeah, sure. If you want to share it in the chat, and as I get to it, if there's not questions or anything, and there's a lull in this, I'll absolutely do a review for you. Not a problem whatsoever. Usually 9 times out of 10, this is going to be a click or a main image issue. That's would be my number one first guess always. Hi Noah, how are you doing? I'm doing well, actually. It's Friday. Cannot complain. We're gonna have a long weekend. Having one of our other executives come out this weekend. We're gonna go hiking. It's gonna be a good time. I have a few questions about launching a new variation listing. Since space is limited, I'll send the actual question in the following messages. Okay. Is it better to create child listings separately and then merge them, or should I set up the full parentage in one flat file upload? So I always like to set them up individually and then go through the parentage. I also like to try and see if I can do any sales and get some reviews as an individual product before I go through that parentage. Can I fill only the required columns in a flat file and then add the rest? Images, product details, etc. via Seller Central. Won't this cause any issues? No. So if you're doing a partial upload, even a full upload technically, you only ever have to put in the required columns. The thing is, if you're doing a partial upload, you will only be updating the partial columns. If you're doing a full upload, you will end up updating everything. So you'll blank out everything all at once. But to just get a product live and to just get it in, yeah, you can just do only the required columns technically. The Dr. Kelly show. That's interesting. I didn't know that Dr. Kelly had a show. It was a bad joke. If I'm the manufacturer and have a UPC, but it has bubble wrap around the product and in a poly bag, do I need to put a UPC label on the poly bag? Amazon says it doesn't need a label on each unit. So yes, technically, you do actually need to label units unless you have manufacturer barcode. So if you're doing like FN SKU, then you will have to label every unit. If your product has a manufacturer barcode on it, you'll be fine because they can scan that through. As long as it's a like a clear poly bag that you're talking about, that should be fine. If it's not a clear poly bag, then you might want to label each individual one. Realistically, this is a problem I see quite often. Now, the difference here would be if you're doing case packs, right? So if you're doing case packs in that regard, so if you send in a case pack, so that would just be, let's say, a box filled with 10, 15 of the products in individual poly bags, you can just throw one singular label on the actual case pack itself. In Seller Central, I see 5 generic keywords, 500 characters each. In flat file, there's only one field with 250 bytes. How should I fill this, especially for a variation family? Category is correct. So if you see in Seller Central the 5 generic keyword fields, 500 each, this is something that has been around since like January of last year. So it's not... It switches up all the time as well, I'll tell you, Serge. It's category dependent, product dependent, and it constantly will change from 250 bytes to the 2,500 total keywords you can have or characters you can have. My best advice to you, if you have the ability on Seller Central to fill out all 5 of those with 500 characters, do it, and do it on Seller Central. It will help you. If it's showing only 250 bytes in the upload field, that's because it probably wants you to only do 250 bytes. Don't expect that the 2,500 characters will stay around forever, because it just won't. It's one of those things where it seems to be changing all the time, and nobody really can tell you, except for Amazon, why they keep changing which products, which categories have it. At one point in time in like January of last year, they opened it up for pretty much every single category, which was crazy. And then they very quickly rolled that back. So just expect they might not stay around. What if my variations differ by both style and color, but Amazon doesn't allow that combination, even though I'm sure the category is correct? Yeah, so Amazon has pulled back on what type of variations you can have based on category. If you have a style color and Amazon doesn't allow for style color, you need to essentially see what do they allow for. Do they allow for style and name? Do they allow for two different variation types? Maybe, maybe not. This is one of those areas that I'm a little annoyed on. You can technically jerry rig it by getting an older flat file type and trying to upload it. You just won't see a ton of success with it a lot of times, and you end up usually with broken parentages. It's a whole pain in the butt. So the thing I will say is figure out which is the closest variation group to what you are trying to do and use that one. Realistically, no one looks at the name of the variation anyways. For a 50% launch discount, should I use the sale price feature or simply set my regular price lower and raise it gradually? I would just use the sale price feature. You can technically set your regular price and raise it gradually, but you're not going to get strike through because there's no average was price to go off of for that. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick, Serge. And I want to make this very clear, guys. I'm doing this as a one-off. I don't want to turn this into an ASIN review session because it seems to be what happens every single time I do this for one person. Everyone instantly is just like, "Can you do mine? Can you do mine?" Which I do love. Maybe we should do some more. Oh, you said it was in the Italian marketplace. So let's .it. There we go. All right, let's do some English. All right, so I can tell you immediately something that's wrong with your ASIN here, Ricardo. So let's do a little screen share here. Couple of immediate things call out to me. The very first thing I'm going to tell you is what is Trilogy? So Trilogy, Eterna, all of these things that you're putting on here, none of them are like primary keywords, right? Like that, none of this tells the consumer whatsoever what your product is, which is the point of a main image and like a main image hack. You have this giant section here. It's all shiny and everything. Your product is huge, right? That's my very first thing I would take out if you don't have a lot of like brand share or brand name marketplace share. Like people aren't searching for it, search volume for your brand name. I would take it out of the beginning and just focus on essentially your primary top keywords. But yeah, immediately, that's one of the things I would do. I would also do some editing, get rid of this down here. Amazon is likely to flag you for this at some point in time, this reflection here. So just FYI on that. But yeah, realistically, biggest thing that I can see here is that you have all of this space on the product that I would just edit immediately and start throwing in like your top search volume keywords that are extremely relevant that you have the best click-through rate for, because that's likely one of the primary areas is that your main image just, I don't know what it is, right? And don't get me wrong, I understand I don't speak Italian nor read Italian, but even if I did, I wouldn't know what Trilogy Fourth has to do with anything or Eterna has to do with anything. I don't think you likely have much search volume as far as those are compared. So it's probably the very first things I would do there. I want to launch as FBM for testing. How do I correctly switch to FBA? Should I create the same variation under FBA and have both FBM and FBA, or delete them and relaunch all of them from scratch with FBA? Yeah, so my favorite way to go about this is creating a new SKU. So you can use same exact SKU structure you have for the first one, then have one of them be -FBM, another one be -FBA. And that's all you have to do is just same exact ASIN, just a new SKU. One of them will be FBM. One of them will be FBA. Simple as that. It's also a really, really good way and really good practice to do that as well. Even if you're only doing FBA, to at least have the FBM. If something ever happens, it makes sure that essentially you will never have a situation in which you are going out of stock unexpectedly, or the product listing is taken down because of one SKU. There's a manufacturer barcode on it, but the bubble wrap covers it. Are you sending it case pack? That's the other aspect that Dr. Kelly show. Because if you're sending it case pack, again, as long as the manufacturer barcode is on the case, it won't matter. But if it's not on individual products, I would say yes, you're going to want to add that onto the individual poly bag so that they can actually scan it. Noah, you're early. I am. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw a Friday off, guys. I wanted to be early for once. Sue me. I got stuff going on. I see sometimes I have orders from non-Amazon sales channels. They aren't MCF, so where could they be from? Interesting. So Amazon, it depends. You can have orders from a few different channels. So for instance, Amazon added like the retail ad. So I'd be curious, Viper, if you're doing retail ads at all. It's not common, I suppose, if you're not doing it. I'd be curious to see where you're getting the non-Amazon sales channels and what it actually is looking like for you. The only time I really see this is, like I said, through the retail ads, which I guess I could show you what that is real quick. Let me just pull this up, sign in here. One cool thing about the SPP is that now I just have my own account. I can just do everything all the time. It's fantastic. I love it. Anyone else, by the way, hate this new ad console? I think it looks gross. Anyways, this is what I'm talking about, Viper. Advertise products across retailers. Typically, you still have to have the actual listing on the retail site, but they have different retailers that you can do it through. So potentially that's where you're getting it from. Not the case, then I would have to see the exact thing. Thank you for your answers. Wishing you a great time hiking. Thank you. Mark, great to see you. How would you go about getting your first main image optimized? Do you still recommend the My Amazon Guy main image work done even with the terms of service changing with the hacks? Yeah, so I absolutely do. The big thing to understand with the main image hack changes that they have come out with is that it's not fully dead. So the main image hack in general isn't fully dead. It's just that specific types of main image hacks are. So you can't do things like badges anymore. You can't do, tags that are hanging off the product, but you can do product packaging. You can do product wrapping, so to speak. You can do, direct on product keywords, right? So there's a lot of different ways that you can still do a main image hack. So we probably still do it. I would say at least 10, 15 a day, something like that. I mean, we get main image hack requests daily, right? So we're still doing them and they're still working. It's just specific types of main image hacks aren't working anymore. Is there a way to see the click-through rate in A/B tests? The data only shows number of sessions and the conversion rate. I don't think so. Not in an Amazon A/B test. I guess I can look at that real quick. I haven't looked at the Amazon A/B testing in quite a while because I don't typically do a lot of Amazon A/B tests. Honestly, a lot of times what I'm doing nowadays is I just A/B test through PickFu. And if one is just a very, very clear winner, I just push that one forward. If it's not a very clear winner and there is, you gonna try and tell me right now that this account doesn't have access? Oh, no, it does. Okay. If there's not a very, very clear winner, I'm not seeing it on the Amazon A/B test. Let's see content. Yeah. So it doesn't show click-through rate. I mean, that kind of makes sense at the end of the day when you're seeing it. Because the thing with an A/B test that matters usually is the conversion rate, right? Which one of them is converting more? Assume that your average click-through rate on it is going to stay similar, right? If one product one image has a significantly higher conversion rate or has just more conversions overall, assume that also has a higher click-through rate. You can't have higher conversions. Well, I guess you can have higher conversions with a lower click-through rate. It would just be very, very rare. So that's the one thing I would probably just suggest is go by conversion rate and go by number of conversions. Overall, though, the big thing is use PickFu. I think if you use like code My Amazon Guy, you get like $100 or something free. Or I hear if you go over to LinkedIn and search up John Aspinall, and go yell at him and tell him I sent you, he will give you credits for free. Pro life hack. Unethical life pro tip, I suppose. Except it's extremely ethical because it's John Aspinall. I just got back from a colonoscopy and now I have to deal with seller support. I would rather have another colonoscopy. That's probably the most apt description of how people feel about seller support. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Oh, that's funny. I think that's a really, really good one, Jorge. I like that. Hey Noah, can you check my ASIN and tell me how you think I am doing? Did I not just say, guys, that I didn't want to turn this into an ASIN review time? How many questions do I have ahead of this? I have quite a few questions. Let me type this in, and while I'm typing it in, I will do a check real quick. If I see anything obvious, I'll point it out. But that being said, let me answer questions while I'm doing this. DJ K418X2. All right. And what do you want me to do? How I think you're doing. I mean, you're doing fine. You're doing, 5K in sales a month. That's pretty good. I like your main image. Oh, I'm not sharing screen, am I? Here you go, guys. Eduardo, this is nice. I like your designs. You have really nice designs. This has a little much on it, I will say, and people probably can't read this. A lot of this. It's cool to have these badges, but if somebody doesn't know what this badge is, nobody's going to look at it. Honestly, you're not going to read this fine print on mobile. That's the only thing. So this text is great for mobile. This size, everything else text-wise for like mobile, you can't read probably. Actually, I think I can actually test that as well. Oh, I can't. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this real quick. I think I have a mobile viewer in here. I do. I don't know. We'll do iPhone 14. If you guys don't have the mobile viewer, I would definitely do it. So that looks nice. How do I? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So as you can see, can't read any of that. So that's the big thing, Eduardo, is that I would probably focus on is that this is nice. Again, can hardly read this. So probably just blow all of this up. Let's see. Next one. Same thing. Can't read any of this. That's the only thing I would probably focus on, Eduardo, from like a design aspect. Is the fact that a lot of this use can't read on mobile, which that's where the majority of orders are going to come from at the end of the day. So cool. Can you get too many reviews compared to the total orders flag? Can getting too many reviews compared to the total orders flag the account? Of course, I would follow their review rules. Not that I'm aware of. So I guess I would question what you're asking at the end of the day. Are you asking me if somehow increasing, because average review rate is between 1% and 3%. Expect between 1% and 3% of people to leave a review. 3 being exceptionally high, to be fair. Unless you have like a really good review program. But if you're asking, hey, if I do something, I don't know what the something would be, but if I do something that pushes me up to 25% review rate, is that going to flag the account? Probably. I don't know in what way, as long as you're not breaking terms of service in any ways, then I don't think so. I mean, you'll be fine. Is it going to flag the account? Yeah, they'll probably look at it and they'll be like, hey, this is super weird. And then they'll be like, oh, these people are doing something really cool if you're not breaking rules. And I should say, if you find some secret methodology to get 5, 10, 15% review count or, review rating based on total orders, shoot me a DM. I will do a video with you and I will dig into that, every single day of the week. That's awesome. Are there any updates on the main image graphics being removed for certain categories? My CTR has dropped significantly since losing those graphics. What would be the best way to test new images without getting a suppression? Best new way to test new images, just follow the new main image thing. There's not really an update as far as what's going on. Again, We updated. If you want to, Viper, go and check out myamazonguy.com/I think CTR. I just dropped my ball. If you go and check that out, that will we updated that for all of the ones that we know are currently working still. So that's what I would do, is just go and check that out, and update your images to follow that same cadence of style, so to speak. I see another ASIN in here. Matt Johnson, we'll get around to it. You should do an ASIN review live stream. I should. I should do that. I'll send a message over to our marketing team and tell them that I'm going to do a live stream here in the next week for ASIN reviews. If we already have one brand in Seller Central and we open a new brand in the same Seller Central, will we get the new seller incentive benefits or not? No, new seller incentive benefits are specifically for new accounts and new sellers, not new brands. So unfortunately, no. Is new seller incentives applicable for every new brand or only for totally new seller? It is new seller incentive, not new brand incentive. Journeyman, is there an easy way to add negative keywords to all campaigns? I have twice as many paid keywords versus organic, even though I have negated over 1,500 keywords. Yeah, the easiest way is through a bulk upload of negations. If you can do bulk negations, that's going to be your easiest methodology for it. Learn how to use bulk files under advertising. It makes your life so much easier, especially if you have that many keywords overall. That's a crazy number. Already answered that one. Mark, do the mag main image services also optimize the font on the box to make it optimal to see? If you're talking about like on the image itself, yeah, absolutely. So we will essentially redo all of it. So, we do pretty much the entirety of the main image, any new CTR aspects of it. We'll add text to the main image. We'll sometimes even, update the product text, if you have like a bottle or something. Also, thanks for reply and the weekly stream of info. Always happy to. I enjoy doing this stuff. Roish, when I day part, it says it has to be above $10 per schedule and a percentage above that. My overall budget for that campaign is $5, but if I day part from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. And care another schedule for 6 p.m. 12 a.m., then overall budget will be $20. So to do that, it's going to be expensive, especially if I'm doing that to all campaigns. How do I go around that, or am I missing something? You can't go around that. So the big aspect at the end of the day, unfortunately, and this is actually, I think in the past I was saying like you can add your budget down to like $1, right? Which technically you can, you just can't do that with day parting, unfortunately. So I actually learned that last week. So I'll call myself out there. I learned something new. Even in me, I can learn things new all the time. That being said, the big thing that I will point out to you there, Roish, is at the end of the day, budget doesn't matter as long as you're hitting your ACoS, right? So if you're hitting ACoS, I don't know why your budget should really matter to you. If you're getting sales and your ACoS stays consistent within those timeframes, I would just ask that question of why does the budget matter more than anything? And if you're really worried about it, you can set an account level budget. How do I DM you? LinkedIn. Anybody who ever wants to DM me, just look me up on LinkedIn. Noah Wickham on LinkedIn. More than happy to chat with anyone and everyone. Oh, I didn't see the starred. This is my bad. It's my bad. Thanks for $5 though, Elena. Can I change my brand name if I still retain my 8? I am having a dyslexia moment. Can I change my brand name? I still retain my ASIN and reviews. My brand name would change to a shorter version of the existing brand name. Yeah, you can. So you can absolutely do that. ASIN. So the ASIN reviews are tied together, right? So ASIN reviews are tied together. You would have to do this directly with brand registry. So you're not changing brand name through Seller Central. You're doing it through brand registry specifically. So you need to register the new brand and then do a brand name change. So it's a bit of an annoying process overall. If you're interested at all, Elena, we have a service around brand name change. Go and check out our website, myamazonguy.com, and we have a service for it. So feel free to do that, or even just shoot me a message I'd be happy to hook you up here and help you out with it. Search query for ASIN has only 1 to 2 sales for a keyword for the past month. Should I put those in exact or phrase? I know about broad if I want to expand in that keyword. Yeah, so if you're essentially saying you're only getting 1 to 2 sales for a keyword for the past month, then which one to do it? And I mean, exact is just going to continue that exact same path, right? Of how many sales you're getting within that. It depends on the search volume of that keyword. Phrase obviously is going to open it up a bit more for you than it currently is. And yes, broad will expand on it. So it's kind of dealer's choice here, Royce. What's your goal here? Are you trying to rank higher for that specific keyword? Are you trying to just attain more sales volume around that specific keyword? That's what's going to matter. If you're trying to rank higher, I'd do exact match though. Thank you, Noah, and sorry for not hearing the ASIN review thing, but thanks. You are the best. I'm watching your videos and trying to follow your recommendations. Happy to help. Love it. Love, love, love it. Heisenberg, what is the difference between ad group? Actually, you know what, Eduardo? I'll say this. Let me actually get this real quick. I will throw it in the chat. If you found this extremely helpful, one thing we are trying to do is just get more reviews around our channel. So if you can review the channel, that would be great. Give it a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, as well as our Trustpilot, which I'll throw in here as well, which would be really cool if you guys could go and leave a review there. Heisenberg, what is the difference between ad group negative keywords and camping negative key? Camping. Oh, campaign, I think you mean. And if I'm using one ad group per campaign, should I add negative key to the campaign or ad group? So I like to do negations from a campaign level. Well, no, from an ad group level. So this is where you're going to get some issues because, for instance, one of the things that I always push for is only one ad group per campaign. So you're essentially just utilizing ad groups as the campaign level. You should push your negations from the ad group level if that's what you're looking for. The difference between it is essentially if you have a lot of ad groups in one campaign, you can essentially negate keywords for all of those ad groups versus just doing it from an ad group level. That's the only difference, so to speak. Ricardo, but if I include a downloadable PDF guide that you can only access by providing your email, first name and last name via a QR code inside the product, do I be violating Amazon's term service? No, you would not, as long as you do not ask for a review or a positive review within that. You would be totally fine. You can give that stuff away all the time. Their entire products. Actually, I did a video a really long time ago. Let's see if I can find it really quick, Ricardo, and I will send it on over to you. Let's see. It's like virtual products, I think, was the video something. I can't find it right now. Either way, if you look through essentially how to sell apps, I think maybe apps was the term, Ricardo. Yeah. Here it is. Let me share this. This is the thing, Ricardo. So if you're interested in this, how to sell an app subscription service on Amazon, it's very similar to what you're kind of talking about. It's a great video for kind of going through what you can and can't do as far as like consumers go on Amazon, because there are a lot of people that are essentially selling a product that realistically is just an app that goes along with the product, right? So that's the one thing I would just let you know. Where am I at? Here we are, Viper. If I create a new variation get Vine reviews and merge them with the original, will it affect the original listing if the variation goes out of stock for extended amount of time? No. I mean, yeah, it's going to affect in the sense that you shouldn't have stockouts. Like stockouts in general aren't good, but from like a review aspect, that's not a problem. What determines phrase campaign placement versus exact? Ooh, okay. So I have a nice little graphic for this exact scenario. I've gone over this. Oh, dang it. Gone over this a couple of times in the past, but I will spend a minute. I will spend a minute here. Let me present, share screen, window. Here we go. So this is a great graphic. Maybe I'll have somebody post this later, but this great graphic to go over, essentially talking about broad, phrase, exact. So we use the keyword artisan soap. So let's say you are going after artisan soap. If you have the search term of artisan soap, that is a broad match, that is a phrase match, and it is an exact match if somebody searches it. If you have artisan soap for holidays and somebody searches this, it is only a broad, is only a phrase. If it is soap for artisan baskets, it is only broad. Essentially, the difference between phrase and exact is that exact is exactly the keyword that you are targeting and trying to do, versus phrase, it is exactly the keyword that you are doing with additional search terms within it. So that's the, I guess, core primary at the end of the day of difference between the two of them. Is it okay to send product to FBA with commingling? My concern would be the customer leaving a bad review because it's not authentic. Would Amazon remove the review? When you say commingling, do you mean sending it with multiple products in the same box? Yeah, that's fine as long as you as long as you say that to Amazon, because otherwise there's a chance Amazon just checks it all in as one product. So you have to essentially tell Amazon, hey, I am sending single units. They are commingled. Amazon then takes the brunt of it where they have to separate out all the commingling into their own ones. In that scenario as well, Kelly Show, you would have to go ahead and have that, have the barcode on every single product. From the last live session, I understood that having 3 different campaigns with the same keywords, even if they have 3 different match types, is not ideal. What would you recommend I do to improve? Yeah, I don't like to have 3 different campaigns with the same keywords, primarily from what that graphic I showed, right? Because there's no point. If you have the keyword artisan soap and you are doing it from an exact match, you're doing it from a phrase and a broad as well, right? So you can do exactly artisan soap broad, and you are still hitting artisan soaps. It's why I like broad a little bit more. The only time I like to do exact is if I don't want to target something because a keyword is a little generic, right? So great example, ball. Ball is a very, very generic exact match keyword very generic keyword in general. I honestly wouldn't do ball, I should say, from an exact match even, or a phrase match, or a broad. But if I want to have stress ball is a much better idea, right? Because broadly, you're probably going to have stress balls for kids, stress balls for adults, all sorts of different things. But broad might not be best because you're still going to have ball in there, right? And you're going to have stress in there. So ball for stress relief could be a broad match that you would hit on. But if you just do exact, you're not going to have that. I understand to start off using phrase and broad to index before moving them to exact, but when do I know is the right time moving it to exact without losing visibility by doing that? Keywords back. Yeah, the best time, honestly, when you're looking at doing a move from phrase and broad to exact is after understanding a little bit more about the keyword. So again, what I was just kind of talking about when we're looking at a keyword from a generic versus niche level, right? And understanding where the search terms are and understanding what your negations need to be. So part of the reason that you do broad and phrase to start is to get a good list of negations to know what you shouldn't be targeting from a search term perspective. So that's essentially where it's at. There's no perfect time to be making that move. It's essentially once you understand your overall look a little bit more. Noah, broad modifier is still working. And the A cost reduction and sales increase, any best campaign structure. If you mention like one broad, one auto, one exact, etc., thanks in advance. when you say broad modifier, are you talking about the plus sign thing? Because there was a whole thing on that I posted the other day about the chat GBT getting it wrong as far as plus signs go. The big thing with broad modifier is that it's brand, sponsor brand specific is how it still works. It doesn't matter because we have broad phrase exact nowadays as far as match types with sponsored products. That being said, from a campaign structure, one broad, one auto, one exact, there's no specific here, right? It depends where you're at in your overall. I'm not going to say you have to have it like this. You're likely, if you are a seasoned, have far more overall exact matches than you would when you first launch. And the reason for that is that you're going to launch with more phrase and more broad if you have a less niche product. If you're super niche, you're going to be launching with more exact. So it really comes down to a product specific, unfortunately. Should I run multiple same category products in one auto campaign? Yeah, you can. Yeah, so this is an auto catch-all is what this is considered. And yeah, absolutely. Hello, brother. Hello. I have launched PPC on my new Amazon account for my newly launched supplement brand, sponsored products campaign, automatic $70 daily budget, but not getting any results, no spending. My buy box is not active yet. If your buy box isn't active yet, it means the Amazon hasn't received the inventory yet, first and foremost. Secondarily, well, I guess it also could be that potentially there's some form of suppression happening on your product. So I would check into that. Secondarily, if you're not spending anything whatsoever and you're not getting any impressions, you're not getting anything, that means that the campaign's paused. So when you don't have inventory, your ad campaign cannot run. Amazon will not run campaigns for products that don't have inventory. So I would check that first and foremost. Roish, trying to increase sales on that keyword and rank to eventually index. So do both exact and phrase then. Correct. Should I run 2 ad group, 1 broad and 2 ad group for phrase? Is it work? And how many keywords should I run if our budget is $10? Ooh, so low budget, it depends on what your cost per click is going to be, right? If you have a keyword that is like $5 cost per click, it's almost not even worth it to advertise against it because you get 2 clicks. And if you don't get a conversion, you're out of budget. The big thing that I would focus on there is not so much what type you should be running here, more so what keywords you are running against. So if you're going to do exact right at the start, I would do some long tail exact. But 1 broad and 2 phrase are going to be fine. The big thing is just your negation. Don't target more than 5 keywords per ad group, though. Roish, at what point do I know it's time to add search term sales from broad into exact on ASIN? I only see 1 sale for that keyword, so I wait till I get more than 1 sale. Yes. Launch it. Well, actually, let me go back here. Yes, but I would also just look at adding your own search terms. You can get this from something like an auto campaign to know where exactly you should be targeting from a search term perspective. Launching my first ASIN, how do I determine the category's average click-through rate and conversion rate when Amazon Brand Analytics has no data yet? How should I tackle this? You shouldn't. So you need to have your own. Brand Analytics is not meant for the category, right? It's meant for your product. Yes, it shows you your brand share on specific keywords, but at the end of the day, you need to just focus on sales first and foremost. There is zero reason to, before you even have a sale, be focused on what your click-through rate and conversion rate are. You should just optimize for them. So averages across the board for things like conversion rate are pretty standard, right? There are some categories, sure, that have a little bit higher click-through rate, lower conversion rate, but overall, those are fairly standard. So I wouldn't really worry about it. I would just worry first and foremost on getting sales. Hi, Noah. Can you please tell me how to offer EBT payment and subscribe on my seller account? I have a grocery item. I don't know if Amazon allows EBT. Actually, if it does, I haven't looked into it, and I doubt it's that large of a market. It might be. Let me look at this real quick. Oh, so they do allow it as of last year. That's interesting. I actually haven't looked into this at all. This is a really good one. Let me look into this a little bit, Pure Nature, and I will record a video and get this out. I have not seen this before. I don't know how impactful it would be for you. Probably about as much as, stuff like HSA, FSA. I haven't looked at it. I'll have to look. Getting a call, and I've never seen this before. It literally says probably fraud. That's actually really interesting. I've never seen a call say probably fraud. That's kind of funny. Craig, good to see you. Just saying thank you. Truly enjoying these Q&As and other content you put out. Always finding value in it. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. Commingling with other sellers' products. Oof. Okay, so you're asking about the commingling of other sellers. Yes, it's okay. The thing that I will tell you with commingled product is you don't really get many options here. Would they remove a review because the product isn't authentic? No, because it is commingled. They have zero way to tell whose product is who. They just know a total count of product they have. And then furthermore, they look at it and say, okay, so X person got this sale. And so this person has one less inventory, and the inventory as a whole is now one less. So I don't like commingling personally. I've seen the problems like this that you're talking about. I thought at first you were talking about your products being commingled when you send them in. If you're talking with other sellers, I don't like commingling. It's not great. Here we go. Suggest me daily budget for supplements PPC, and what should be strategy, automatic or manual in start? How much can you spend? What is your average cost per click? What is the actual supplement category you're in? There are some supplement keywords that cost over $50 per click. I don't know what category you're in. Here's what I'll tell you from a basic. If you can spend $100 a day on Amazon ads, that's a fantastic budget to start with. Honestly, it is. That's like a super starter budget. I mean, it's kind of high for a lot of people, but if you can spend that much, that'd be great. Strategy, automatic or manual and start, both. You should have an auto campaign to do some research on keywords, but you should also set up some broad match, phrase match, and a couple of long tail exacts. What's the best time to launch the PPC campaign for better results, US market? Best time to launch the PPC? There's not a best time to launch. I guess I'm confused on the question you're asking. You should be launching a PPC campaign when you launch a product. Oh, was your question earlier about the... No, it wasn't. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you're asking there. Noah, thank you for your ASIN review. Happy. I'm interested in doing one-on-one coaching with you, but I'd like to ask you something. How do the sessions work? Ooh, this is interesting. A little self-plug. We do coaching for anybody who's curious. We have a bunch of coaches, not just myself, in fact. So if you're ever interested, how do I share? What screen am I sharing right now? Here we go. I'm sure somebody's going to throw a link down there, but if you're ever interested, you can book a coaching call with us. Go over to our website, myamazonguy.com/coaching, and you can book a coaching call. So there we go. I knew it was there. So go and book a call. You can book with myself. You can just ask me questions as well if you want some in-depth stuff. We got a couple of other coaches here as well. They're great guys. Love everything they do. They're exceptionally smart individuals. Some of them smarter than myself in many categories, to be honest. All of that being said, what does this session look like for typical coaching? So usually it looks like this. You come with a specific problem. You can even come with multiple problems. It's going to be about a 30-minute session, sometimes a little bit longer than 30 minutes. And you can also book for longer if you really want to. And essentially we sit down, you ask me these specific questions and we dig in. If you want to go through advertising, I will have you share screen. We'll go through specific campaigns. You can even technically add me into the account and I can look through it at the same time with you. If you want to do an ASIN review and talk through the exact specifics you should be doing, specific keywords, specific categories. So a lot of you guys, for instance, ask questions such as this one, daily budgets for a supplement and the strategy behind it. So when somebody has a question like this on the live Q&A, it's really hard for me to answer you guys just because there are many specifics that come with a question like this, right? It's too broad of a question. But if you do a coaching session, I can usually sit down, look at your product ahead of time, understand your category, understand your brand a little bit better, and actually give you a direct strategy. So that's the general gist behind it. There's no two same coaching sessions. I mean, I've done coaching sessions that are literally just consulting with someone who is looking at starting a brand, consulting with people who are trying to and walking them through the process of buying an Amazon account or buying a brand. A lot of times the coaching sessions will end also with me providing a lot of resources to you, whether that's an SOP, different videos guiding you in the right direction. Think of it more as a one-on-one consultation. And then Ricardo also asks, do we improve the listing, optimize bids, launch new campaigns together step by step, or do you just tell me what I should do and then I do it on my own? I hope I explained myself clearly. Yeah, so there's not a lot that I technically will end up doing just because the time is limited. If you want to do a lot of that, have me do a lot of it personally, we can usually work something out. That usually just requires longer sessions and more sessions overall. So, I mean, always happy to try and work something like that out if you want me to do it individually. Just usually harder because I am a bit of a busy guy, unfortunately. That being said, happy to do that. But a lot of times it will be me more so walking you through it, getting you, I like to say 60 to 80% of the way there is kind of how I like to look at things. And then you end up kind of completing it. Always can come back with screenshots, ask questions afterwards as well. My product went out of stock and one of my exact keywords was performing great. I now have stock and 3 days into this campaign, I've had no sales on that keyword, but the auto campaign is now performing. Increase your bid, check your placement. Simple as that. Manual for the budget depends on how much you wanted or willing to spend. Manual, I'd say for supplement and slowly trying other ad types. Supplement is pretty much expensive in terms cost per click. Yeah, I mean, he gets it, right in the money. Again, supplement, it's expensive. $100 a day is a decent, starting budget allotment. He says manual. I like doing both automatic and manual because you should have some auto targeting just to get some keyword research in there. What would you do before you 10x or 20x your ad budget overnight if you believe the listing is optimized to date and inventory is in a good place? I'd ensure that my cost per click is in a good place as well. If I don't know down to a very good science that my overall bids are solid and sound, and that my placement strategy is solid and sound, I'm not going to 10x or 20x my ad budget just because it's not going to do anything, right? The big thing at the end of the day is that if you're already running out of ad budget, but you have a really good ACOS, I still wouldn't 10x it. Maybe start with a doubling of your budget, go from there. But 20x overnight is something I probably would never do unless I was exceptionally confident in the campaign that I was running. And I was already like super low. So if you're talking about like going from, I don't know, a $10 budget to a $200 a day budget, that's still a huge jump for most products, most campaigns, and be exceptionally diligent. So I usually would start with more of like a 5x, like a 2 to 5x for any type of budget increase overall. And then I would still probably limit myself from an account level if I'm not 100% confident. Which tool or platform is best for profit loss management for Amazon? 10 ASINs in each marketplace and multiple marketplaces. So are you asking specifically like understanding your direct amount of profit that you're getting, Harris? I mean, there's a lot of different softwares you can use. One of the ones that I think is pretty inexpensive, if not free, Seller Board is a really good one. They do profit analysis for like every single product. So they're a really good one though. Is there a way to decrease delivery speeds for a certain state? One of our top selling states has a delivery speed of about 5 days, which is too long compared to our competitors. You have to create a custom shipping template campaign. I don't believe you can do from a state specific for like standard, but you can do expedited shipping for specific states. So you can change the time frame that it takes for handling and shipping in those states. Only if you're FBM also. It doesn't work for FBA. What are the types of campaigns we can launch for our new launch on Amazon? Scenario. What is it? I am launching new product. I have 5,000 PPC budget. I want to make sure that $500 daily spend is spended. So spent. Well, so if you have a $5,000 a month PPC budget, your budget of $500 a day is inaccurate. That only $500 a day only gets you through 10 days. You need to cut that into like a third. $150 a day is plenty. Anyways, that $150 a day, let's say that you're actually doing that. You're going to do a variety of campaigns. First and foremost, you're going to set yourself up with an auto campaign. The auto targeting campaign is going to be meant for one thing and one thing only: understanding new keywords so that you can target gold panning specifically for the future. It's not going to be a heavy driver for you at the end of the day. Also, it's going to help you understand negations that you should watch out for a little bit more often. Secondarily, I would look at your top 3 competitors. What keywords are they currently going after as a top of search placement that they are number 1 ranked for? Those are keywords that you want to also be going after from probably a broad match perspective, if not just a phrase match perspective. Now, look at ones that are longer than 4. These are going to be your long tail. You're going to add those into an exact match. After you add those into the exact match, you're also going to want to make sure that you have a low bidding on that to start, because you don't want to be overspending in any capacity until you have better negations as a whole. It's a general rule of thumb on how you're going to start. Let's see. Increasing the budget should depend on the performance of the campaigns. Yeah, see? Yame gets it. See, Craig? Yame gets it. All right, we got one more question, which is perfect because I got to hop on out here soon. I want to track my profit loss for Amazon, but don't want to give access to my Seller Central to anyone without knowing it is safe and best tool out in the market. What software does Mag usually use? We have 2. So we have an internal software called MagSource that we have been building out for a while. That's kind of a primary. Secondary to that, we also use Merchant Spring. But if you are ever curious here, Harris, what you can actually do is we have this site or this page. And I just got it updated, it's going to be updated here within like the next couple of days. I just saw the first like draft of it, new draft that I wanted to update, but recommended third-party services. This is where I would look for anything. So the ones that I would look at Merchant Spring. Prophecy is more of like dynamic pricing, which you could do, I suppose. We also have seller boards. So this is the one that I was talking about there, Harris. If you just come here and click on this, this is a great one. I like seller board because it's just cheap. It's, pretty versatile across the board. Is it great for what, an overall tool? No, but it's great for what it does. So go and check out our third-party services. I'll actually just throw this into the comment here as well. All that being said, I got to hop on out of here and whatnot. So thank you, everyone, for hopping in today and for being a part of this. We do this every single Friday, a live Q&A, just to answer any questions that people might have. And it helps me learn some things as well along the way. So love that. Love seeing all that. We have a Prime Day prep masterclass that I'm going to actually be doing. I believe that's in 2 weeks or so. We'll throw stuff into the comments and into the description. Go sign up for that. It's going to be really cool. I'll be digging in, talking about different ad structures, how you should set up your bidding styles for Prime Day, what you should be looking for from a competitor analysis standpoint as well. So go check that out. Another thing, like I said, if you can, let me scroll up here so I can actually put it on the screen. Here it is. We're looking to get more reviews. If you like these kind of content, you like our content as a whole and whatnot, and you just want to support us in some way, go throw us a quick review. Would mean a lot to us. And yeah, outside of that, I got nothing else. Hope everyone has a great Friday, great holiday weekend for those of you in the US, and I will see you all next week.